Bring that first one up. Bring that fucking clipboard up. Magic, here we go.
All right, what are we going to talk about first? Sphincter says what? All right. Well, number one thing we're going to go with, of course, is Halloween news. So somebody asked Jason Blum while he was on the press tour for Fantasy Island.
Was he even doing that?
Bombed darkly. I don't know. Maybe he was just on vacation.
Maybe he was just on Fantasy Island. Wishing he had a better movie that came out. Dreams do come true.
But what was it that he did say? He said
it's a big ass oil painting.
Yeah, he's like, it's a big canvas in this movie. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's a huge, big, fat fucking canvas.
I feel like he was just saying that because he was like, hey, is the movie like long? He's
pretty long, man.
You're like, what?
What?
Are you saying it's like Lord of the Rings extended trilogy long, or is it like George Lucas special edition Star Wars long? Like, what are we talking? He's like, it's an oil painting. It's like, oh.
There was news earlier in the week with a James Jude Courtney interview that happened that we already covered. That's already in our past videos if you guys want to check that out. Not a whole lot on the Halloween front this week, but there was big. Can you say big? No.
For what?
Friday the 13th.
Well,
fucking
I mean,
hot box of shit.
Knows a lot. Jason still sucks at the Lake of Crystals. Your best friend is fucked.
What this was, and Larry Zerner is a guy, he played Shelley in Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D. He was the one that actually ended up giving Jason his mask. And on his Twitter, it's a great Twitter follow, I'll put his Twitter handle down here. He broke down the entire thing of what happened in the latest oral arguments.
Oral. Zerner feels like it's going to probably go back to Miller. Like it's going to be upheld that what the court originally decided back in 2018 was that he had the rights to it. That he's probably going to get it.
And this new oral arguments that we were hoping was going to figure something out, what they're trying to say is that, no, wait, he was a member of the Writers Guild of America, which is like a union, and if he's getting union stuff, then that means he's an employee. In his opinion, the judges didn't look like they were buying her argument at all whatsoever. But we don't know, because that doesn't really tell you anything. The judges can look like they're going to screw you right up the butt, and then in the end up awarding it to you. So we don't know what's going to happen. But the bad news about that whole thing is what they want is to put, what Cunningham wants is for this to go back to the last courtroom it was in. And if they grant him that fucking sucks.
Well, yeah.
And then the other thing that could suck is if this doesn't pan out here and we don't get it figured out here, then that someone could, whoever loses the case, could push it to the Supreme Court, which would push even further. But what Zerner's saying is he doesn't even think that they'd accept the case.
Right.
So
I mean, and again, Miller's probably going to get it. Like, I mean, they're going to uphold what the court said back in 2018. There's most likely that's going to happen. But it's not like all doom and gloom and the poopy stains, because at the same time, like, Miller has to work with Cunningham for this to be rebooted. All they're saying is that if Cunningham got the rights back to Jason, like the Friday the 13th, the original script, it would just shortcut a lot of this bullshit and make a Jason movie happen a lot sooner, which is awesome. But at the same time, Miller's not stupid. Miller will probably want to make money on the franchise, so he'll have to work with Cunningham to work with, and again, like, you don't really have much with that script. I mean, you have like the characters from the first one. You have little boy Jason, and that's all you got. Like, everything else after that, like what made Jason iconic, is all Cunningham and shit. So you're not going on much there.
Yeah, I don't really know how all that stuff works out, how they're going to splice that up if they do uphold the last court's ruling, like who's going to get what. I know they divvied it up, but it's still confusing. Like, are you going to make a Jason movie, a Friday the 13th movie, and you can't call it Crystal Lake? He can't use the mask.
You can call it Lake of Crystal.
Lake of Crystal. How the fuck are you going to do that? I don't know. But it all sucks, and they're busy kicking each other in the nuts while Halloween's out here doing awesome shit.
Why don't they just call it the lake? They just say the fucking lake.
Let me ask you a question, you sick-ass sycophants. Do you want Jason Voorhees back? You've only got this big bubble-ass moron to look at. And Halloween kills. And Halloween ends. No, Michael, don't pretend that you have sex. You have sex with a furry animal. You only have that. What, you want another serial killer to root for? Woo! I love serial... You're sick, you're disgusting, you probably had daddy issues, and your feet smell. Stop wishing for these characters to come back to life. I'm very glad that it's stuck in court, Michael. The real Jason Voorhees, the one with mommy issues, I think he's happy. He gets to rest. Unlike you and your stupid brain. I hate you, Mike. I really wish to God that you would just walk into a cactus and have it attack your face. Like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And then lay baby cactuses in your mouth so they explode through your chest. And then you poop them out and you have prickly butt. That's exactly what you would do on the toilet with prickly butt.
To that one script, the first Friday the 13th, which had nothing to do with Backhead Jason, had nothing to do with the hockey mask. It did have the name Jason in it. But I mean, at that point, like, honestly, if Cunningham wanted, I mean, it sucks, but if Cunningham wanted to move forward without, like, the rights and Miller didn't want to work with him, you could just make a serial killer movie called The Lake or Crystalline Lake or whatever you want to call it, and you don't even need to name him.
But
you know what I mean? Because people, it's so iconic. Jason, like, being Jason.
Okay, but that's the thing. If Miller gets the rights, he doesn't have rights to the mask.
No, he doesn't. I know. That's why.
So,
but does he have rights to the name?
Well, they mentioned Crystal Lake in the first
and
movie.
Jason
and Jason Voorhees
and Pamela Voorhees.
But it's a hockey mask, and like technically, hockey masks are hockey masks.
No, yeah.
You just change up the mask a little bit, maybe
well,
keep the goalie mask.
Literally, Miller would have no say on the mask at all. All Miller would have a say on, I'm assuming, because of the first script, is that the name Jason was used as the little boy Jason and Pamela Voorhees, and then anybody else as the counselors, and the general story, but that's all. Like, everything else that came after that shit when he got his mask has nothing to do with Miller. Like, zero to do with him.
Yeah, that's weird to me. So
you're fighting over a popcorn fart there, sir.
What they're saying about this case is that it sets a standard in Hollywood. Those rights are supposed to revert back to the person who owned them or wrote the script or whatever, right? That's the way the law is supposed to work. But as court cases do, they use one court case to choose what they're going to do with other court cases. So I guess probably what Hollywood or a lot of people are saying to him is, look, if you lose this case, then that means everybody that says that they have rights to this is going to lose this case. So maybe he has pressure on him to actually win the case, even though they could just work together and figure this shit out. I don't know, man. It sucks.
Yeah, it just makes the Friday the 13th fan, the Jason fans, wait a little longer for this bullshit to be sorted out. It's like, why can't you guys just be grown-ups, suck each other's dicks, and get over with it? I mean, what else? I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, it's a pissing contest. We both know Cunningham's got a bigger wiener, but nonetheless, at the same time, like, just give the guys money, settle out of court.
Wait, I don't know that.
Well, I mean,
how do you know that?
I mean, I heard, I saw some porn, but it was 3 nights in Paris. But no,
not spending your nights.
Porn sites. But just give him the money, settle out of court, and forget about it. Like, I don't think, honestly, and give him some money, and then put on a title card based on the screenplay by his Miller or
and then
whatever.
Give him a royalty every time they show his name.
Well, but not like that much.
I don't know. Figure it the fuck out.
It's not that hard to. Yeah, you can move on with that. It feels like this thing is just going literally, like I said, pissing contest. It feels like, how far are we going to take this? Because we have more money than you, or we think we do, and you're spending all this. At some point, this Miller's guy's got to be like, damn, dude, like, I'm running out of fucking money here. I'm tapping my fucking kids' college funds, and I don't care about that. But I mean, I'm still tapping my kids' college funds.
I know he has pressure on him too, because like I said, this is going to set a precedent for all other cases.
Are you really fighting for the rights of other writers, or are you making yourself vilified in the eyes of fans? Because isn't that really what the truth is?
I think they're both vilified.
Because no, Cunningham's not, because Sean's like, I mean, sure, maybe into a degree, but Miller's the one that took this shit the way that he did.
See, I disagree with that though, because like I said, the law says that the rights are supposed to go back to Miller. According to the law, it says that Miller's supposed to get those rights. Well, Cunningham is saying, like, no, you didn't write the script. You were an employee for me, and I told you to write the script.
I think it was.
So it's really Cunningham that's pushing.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I mean, also, I think it's probably an ego thing for Cunningham too, because he doesn't feel like anybody should take him to court and fucking accuse him of stealing, and he doesn't like that he's being accused of theft, technically. And then
I think Cunningham's taking him to court.
He is.
The rights went back to him in
2018.
No,
he is, and that's what I mean. Like, he doesn't like his character being attacked and calling me a fucking thief. I ain't stole nothing. But at the same time, Miller is the one that's pursuing. Like, maybe if Miller approached them without the fucking lawyers and all this bull, well, you'd have to have lawyers, but not like making this big scene. Just be like, listen, man, just give me like some credit on it. Give me some money outside of the fucking movies. Yeah. Give me, like, we can settle out of court. I'll sign a non-disclosure, and we can go about our fucking day. Yeah. That's it. And if they do that, then it's over. So yeah, you're right. Maybe they're both villains, but at this point, like, I think the fucking Miller guy is going to be way worse vilified in the eyes of fans than Cunningham. Like, he just is, because it's like you're the guy in the shadows that nobody gave a shit about until like 2018 anyway.
But if somebody comes to you and they say, hey, look, this is the way that this whole thing works. You wrote that script, and now you own Friday the 13th, and then you go, oh my God, that's amazing. amazing.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, this dude that was your boss at one point, maybe sort of your boss at one point, comes and goes, no, bitch, that's mine. I don't care what the law says. That shit's mine.
Well, yeah, that would piss me off, but I also feel like it's a fat lawyer that smells like oak that came up and whispered in Miller's ear and was like, hey, you know how much money you can get off this?
Smells like mahogany.
It smells like old white men. Well, he was like, you know what you can get
He
off
was just supposed to get it, though. You know,
I don't know, but obviously there's some kind of precedent there because the other court heard it, and again, but Zerner's right. Like he thinks it's going to revert back to Miller. The original ruling is going to hold in court, and that's just the way it is. And now we just wasted more fucking time with this, and it's going to go back, and so he's going to get the rights overall anyway. And I like even if. Like Cunningham was saying, we were fighting out of principle. In that regard, like what were you fighting for though? Like honestly, like. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah, I can understand your perspective. At the same time, you're hired to do a job. You do a job. We paid you for it at the time. That was what it was worth, and that's exactly what you agreed on. Nobody forced you. Nobody twisted your arm. And now later on, after the franchise is successful, and somebody's like, well, you can get all this money now.
That's the two things too. It's either he was a contractor or he was an employee. If he was an employee, then the rights should go back to Cunningham.
Yeah.
But if he was a contractor, contractors don't have that same set of standard. A contractor is a whole different thing. So if he was legitimately a contractor, then it should go to Miller.
Right.
But either way, you know what? If you want to actually read it verbatim from someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about, definitely go and follow Shelly from Friday the 13th on Twitter. And again, I wrote an article on this the other night and put all his tweets in there. So I'll put the link down to that below and check that out as well. But yeah, that's
cool tips.
Hopefully we'll get some fucking Friday news soon. That's better than this shit. But nice. The dangerous thing is if that shit, really we should be rooting for Miller, dude. Yeah. Because the fact of the matter is if Cunningham wins and they get what they want and this goes back to the last court they were at again,
it'll be another year.
It's going to be fucking forever. So anyway, so
talking about being in court for too long and not being in not being in court for too long, but being old news.
Oh, Jesus Christ. More bad news.
Robert Englund says he's too long in the tooth to fucking beat Freddy Krueger, so stop asking, you bastards. I can't do it no more. My dingleberries touched the fucking toilet water when I sat down.
I've been eating butterscotch all goddamn day.
He can't do it.
It's over.
I'm too fucking old. I can't even lift the goddamn glove up, let alone be Freddy Krueger.
I got the Medicaid.
Basically, Robert Englund came out earlier on and he said, like, quote, I'm too long in the tooth to reprise the role of Freddy Krueger. And I think that he's gotten to a point in his career, he doesn't even want to anymore. I think he said that if they were ever going to do a remake for it, like for Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, he would love to be a doctor in it that didn't believe. That's cool. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. He liked a cameo in one of them. And that's great. But yeah, he said, and yeah, I gotta agree with Robert. I gotta agree with old Bobby on this one. Fred Krueger is dead. But I gotta agree with him because, look, I love Robert Englund. Robert Englund will always forever be an iconic Freddy Krueger. He's the guy that everybody knows as Freddy Krueger. But his time has passed. He's done multiple fucking films. He's done the TV show. He's done commercials. He's done everything in pop culture. He is the pop culture icon of the horror scene in the 80s and 90s. But he's done with it, and like it's time to move on from it. And I think that's what he's saying too. He's like, I can't, like, maybe, yeah, I can be buried under makeup and stuff like that.
I can't, motherfucker.
But my dangleberries hurt when I fucking poop.
It's like your Jiffy Pop. Robert Englund. He played Freddy Krueger, Macon. He'd come in your dreams and rip your balls through your anus with the finger glove of death. I bet he didn't wipe his ass very well, but he did. He said that he's too old to play Freddy Krueger any longer. I agree.
And
he's done. Like, I mean, and that's fine.
And I get that. Here's where I'm at on all this whole thing, dude, is that England has done the old Brett Favre thing. Mm-hmm. What he's done is he's retired and he's unretired and he's retired. Here's what I don't get about Robert Englund.
He's got the interception record in the NFL.
God damn it. He's got a lot of fucking records in the NFL. Why do you got to bring that one up? He's the greatest fucking quarterback of all time in my heart. But no, listen. Here's the thing. Robert Englund, and I'm okay. We've talked about this before many times, so I'll say it really fast, just for those who aren't caught up on our opinions on it. We would love to see Robert Englund play Freddy Krueger forever, but he is getting older, so if they did bring him back, and I know everybody wants to bring him back, and some people say that's the only way they'll even watch the fucking movie.
Crazy.
But the thing is that would be great to see him on screen one time, but these things are all about sequels, they're all about franchise. If Nightmare on Elm Street comes back and the movie's killer, you're going to want more of them. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if he comes back and does 1, 2 tops, and then what do? Then the franchise is right back where they were. I think I'd be excited to see him back, but I honestly think that they should move on just for the sake of the future of the franchise. Go ahead and get an unknown or get a big name, do whatever you're going to do, but I think it has to move on just because of his age. And that's not saying he couldn't do it. I would love to hear him do it in an animated series where you got his voice, but he doesn't want to sit in that chair and put on all that makeup all day fucking long again. And I
for the animated series?
No,
he's really going all the way for the character.
I gotta get it. No, I mean for the movies.
That motherfucker don't break character to the DVD commentary. I'm into total shit.
Fred Krueger is one of the nastiest specimens I've ever seen in my life. Gross. Got a goddamn dirty cowboy hat from Stinson. Put your toys away. I also heard that before Michael killed her, Fred Krueger wanted to play with Judith's titties. That's what I heard, Michael. Dr. Chalice was talking in the break room about it. Gross. Don't cow lick me. Robert England. I support you support his decision, Michael. If I spill one more drop of Asian tea, I'm gonna put my foot so far up your ass that the water on my knee will quench your thirst.
And as far as what he's concerned, is like he's done enough. Like he's been in it. I mean, his last outing as Freddy was that one. What was that? The TV show.
This is what I was getting at. This is what I don't like on Robert Englund's half of it. Is that, you know, they've dragged their fucking feet on this franchise before the rights, and the rights have reverted back to the Wes Craven estate. But for years, he said, I'm not going to do it again. Yeah. He said, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to. I'm done. This is the last time I'll do it. And then he did a Comic-Con thing, not a Comic-Con, one of the cons. Then he said, I'm going to put on the makeup for picture opportunities one more time.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not doing any movies. And then you come out of nowhere, and I think this was post-Halloween, and the horror resurgence that we've had the past few years.
That
and all
TV
of a sudden,
show.
He's going to do the fucking Goldbergs? Like a stupid comedy show? Like, I'm sorry if you like the Goldbergs.
Bill Goldberg was in it.
But that would be a great fucking
the
cameo,
fuck out of Freddy.
That would be a great cameo. Yeah. It's like, well, my son! He just comes in and spears him. He's like, you weren't there for me. But
anyway, he goes, fucking fireworks. And he breathes in the smoke flames.
Oh, dude, he's going to fight the Fiend. Did you hear about that?
No.
That's fucking crazy.
That's amazing.
But anyways, then he comes back and he does that, and then all of a sudden news stories come out, and he's like, oh, actually, I think I could do one more. And now that the rights have gone to the Wes Craven estate, now he's going, no, I'm not going to do one. Like, he can't decide whether or not he wants to be fucking Freddy Krueger. And I know that the
he's
studios,
flip-flopping like Donald Trump's hairpiece. It's true.
I know I know the studios drag their feet forever on Nightmare.
Yeah.
They should, and it's their fault, because if they would have started making these movies 10 years ago, then we could have, Freddy could be in full swing right now.
Yeah.
But again, you have to put some of that blame on England too, because he said he wouldn't do it, so I imagine they were thinking in their minds, well, he's not going to do it. That last one sucked because we made a burnt-faced CGI squirrel fucking an apple pie in whatever they did with that, even though the Jackie Earle Haley wasn't bad, the CGI was bad.
Yeah.
And I just, it's like, dude, just fucking make up your mind.
The Jackie R. Haley thing was really bad, because Jackie R. Haley was a good replacement. I think he would have been a really good replacement for Freddy, but I think not only was it was a squirrel fucking a pie or whatever it was, but I also feel like they made him too much of a victim.
Yeah.
In the movie, the way that whole thing went out, and also even Robert Englund himself said it was bad timing. The movie came out.
That's the quote of the show. I mean, I know he's like a squirrel fucking a pie or whatever.
But he's one of the. But I mean, I like him. I like the guy. But no, I mean, it's like Robert Englund himself literally just said it was bad timing. The movie was a bad timing of a film. But nonetheless, I mean, there were some cool things about that movie, the remake. The dream sequences, like when they're in the pharmacy or whatever, and he's coming in and out. That's badass. But anyway, look, Robert Englund, maybe he thought there was some money to be made. And I don't want to take anything away from the guy. I don't know the guy, but I'm just saying, and Robert Englund's a cool dude, it seems, but he was like, hey man, the Halloween thing is doing really well. Maybe I got a little fucking something left in me, and I can get a little snatch of that dollar bill. But then I don't think Wes Craven's estate wants him to do it, because they're also thinking like, even though he is synonymous with Freddy Krueger, they're like, we want to move into a different direction. We want to go somewhere else, and we have to have somebody that's going to be able to put this franchise on their back and go forward a few years. With the franchise, like, you know, it's kind of like a James Bond. Like, once Sean Connery got old and, you know, he's like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore.
They gotta switch to the next guy.
You got to do something else.
But at the same time, and he did say too, he was like, you know, I don't know what's going on with it. He's like, I know that they're taking pitches, and but he was like, I have no idea what's going on currently in the franchise. So it sounds like they haven't reached out to him. But it just, to me, based on the history, and I'm not trying to throw shade at Robert Englund. I love Robert Englund or whatever, but it does seem like
he's pretty dreamy.
He does a little bit of posturing from time to time to get a little bit more on that check, I think.
I know he
could
does.
be all this is, for all we know. But what I do think is that what he said was, I would love if they did a reboot of Nightmare 3, which that kind of came out of nowhere, right? Like, what's you here, motherfucker?
Because it was a great
what's you here?
Dude, I thought about that too. Like, that actually is one of the best movies of the franchise. And to remake that with, like, unused Wes Craven stuff, because remember Wes Craven wrote that script that they didn't use all of it? I mean, you could...
We did a script review for that, by the way.
That'd be pretty cool. And just him being a cameo and it would be fine.
Yeah, and that's what he wanted to do. He basically wanted to play, I think, Heather Langenkamp's character. He said, if they were to do...
Not Heather. No, it was the one that didn't believe that they were having...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my bad. But he wanted to play a woman's character, who hasn't put on their wife's panties and danced around the house.
Oscar de la Hoya can attest.
You gotta. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
You gotta explore those silkies.
So silky.
One day when you're older, you'll know that you'll need to wear stretchy pants.
But he did say, he was like, yeah, what I would like to do is, I would like to have a new role in the franchise. Give me a character like that if they were going to do part 3 or something. And I think that's the best way to go. Actually, I think that, even though I don't agree with some stuff, I think that he answered the question for the franchise perfectly. Give him a new role in the franchise. And for one, this appeases the fans that say they're not going to watch it unless it's Robert Englund. Give him a different role in the franchise. Let him show off a different side of his acting in front of the people, the fans who love his acting the most, Nightmare on Elm Street fans. And then he gets to do a little bit something different, add a little bit something to the resume. I know he's done a bunch of stuff, but I mean, in the Nightmare realm, I think that would be the best send-off for him, and it would be best for the franchise, a nice passing of the torch to move forward. That's the way to go, man.
Yeah, and then have him get brutally killed by the new Freddy Krueger as
what?
Yeah, and then he pops an Ambien right before he goes down. Or Lunesta.
Fucking perfect, dude.
Yeah, and then that's it. Like, that's a way of passing the torch to the next guy, and I think that's what he wants to do. Honestly, they're like, hey, bring me back for the cameo. Let the new guy be the Freddy Krueger you want, and let me be brutally murdered by him. And it's like a way of like, here you go. Like, welcome to the show, bitch.
Jesus Christ.
I wish before he dies, like, welcome to primetime, bitch.
Michael has a vagina.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you wanna know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?